Then we pump those profits back into the profit cycle to generate even more profits. And I know what you're going to say. Profits? Yes, Stan. You're soaking in them.
Hey everybody, how's it going? This is your boy ExtrmWill with Extreme Tech. We're going to do a video talking about Salad AI, kind of what I've been working on with it for like the last 24 hours, kind of tinkering with, how it's looked for the last couple of days, over the weekend, what I think going forward, some of the plans. Did a bunch of little work on it kind of this weekend, so we'll look at some of that. It's definitely been absolutely crushing it the last 24 hours. It's been about $50 a day for me for the last, since probably like Thursday, I want to say. Looking here, the last 7 days. Let's select all. Now this is going to come down for me a little bit when we get into here. Let's see. Why can't I read the days? As of the 30th was at $45. 31st was $47.99. The first was $50.09, and the second was $49.67. And then we are into today. Today's probably not going to be $50, but we'll get into that in a minute. I don't know how many machines I have running right now. If I want to guess, I think about 20 minutes ago I turned off 7 machines from having 28 running, so I'm probably at 21 machines right now. But most of this information is really, this is all going to be from 27 with the 28th machine running for just like the last 24 hours. So let's get into this. Let's refresh this so we can try to take a look at the machines. And as you can see, I did use the new from the Chrome Web Store, the Salad Machine Renamer. I might try to download Firefox and use that as the web browser, and then try to download the Firefox version of this, because I hear the Firefox version is supposed to work better, but I still don't know if the Firefox version is going to work better when it's scaled up to the point that I'm at. All of this seems like it's probably pretty perfect if you're on one page and you're using like 10 machines. But once you start getting to the point where, you know, I'm at, where I have 3 pages, it does not like all of it. So let's come over here and come back. Sometimes it works amazing and sometimes it does not. So we will see what we got going on here. Page 2. All right. So what I was seeing over the course of the weekend, though, was 100% utilization of all my machines. So it made things actually kind of really easy, because on any machine that wasn't up and running, there was probably something wrong with it. So let's see, what did I do? On the one machine, I have a 3080 right now set up in the kitchen that I've been monitoring for the last 24 hours or so. I reinstalled Windows on that one because it wasn't showing on here at all. So I wasn't seeing the machine ID. I think that would have been on like the 3rd page. It should have been in here somewhere. It wasn't showing up at all in here, and it wasn't picking up work. It did show when I would go into the Chrome Remote Desktop. It showed that the WSL file was up to date and all that, but it wasn't working right. So well, the WSL file looked like it was all working fine. Everything from the PC side looked like it was good, but it wasn't registering in here. So sometimes you just got to reinstall Windows because stuff gets messed up with all this sometimes. So I reinstalled Windows with it, and I set it up. I set it up out there, mostly because it's easier for me just to reinstall Windows in the house, so I don't have to go out in the super hot server closet. And then I was doing power testing, so we'll get into that a little bit too, and kind of what my final thoughts are on my power testing and what I'm going to do. But it was really nice because everything in here that said it was like NA, so you can see 44 minutes ago is when I went through and I shut off all those machines. This is a 3090. I don't know why this one's not getting work, because it has been in a job this weekend, but it's not constantly being a job. So I don't know if it's just that there isn't constant 3090 work, and right now it's in the queue. It's just a little further back in the queue, is my thought. But this one may also possibly need Windows to be reinstalled on, so I'll keep monitoring it and paying attention to it. But you can see for everything else that's off, that one's 2 hours ago, so that's weird. But most of these are 48 minutes ago. I went through, and with my power monitoring and all that, I'm going to be bouncing around really bad. Sorry. Hopefully this can be followed. With my power monitoring, everything kind of looked like it was still averaging out about the same. It didn't really seem to matter too much, like which card I was using or which board. The board and the CPU all kind of seem to be using about 80 to 100 watts. Not a whole lot of real difference there. It could be just like the specific equipment I'm using. I don't know if there's a lot of real variance. And then most of the cards were all still really using about the same wattage too. They're pretty much all using about 100 watts per card the way I have everything set up. And it seemed to be kind of consistent across the board. We'll go into that a little bit more later. But it did put me at, let's see, I'd calculate it's up for it, 18 cents per kilowatt hour, about 190 watts total per machine. I want to say is I think what it looks like I'm averaging across everything. And with everything running active in the jobs right now, it looked like that's about 85 cents per day per machine for electric for me. So that's kind of where I had to put the baseline. So all these ones that I turned off 47 minutes ago, 48 minutes ago, everything at the 0.4 cents an hour, that's $1 a day. There's no reason for me to be running a job that I'm making $1 a day if it's costing me 85 cents a day, because I also have to pay the salad fees and taxes and more fees and all that. So like, there's literally no point for it at all. Because I'm at 18 cents per kilowatt hour, it is really kind of disappointing because I didn't turn off all of my 3060s and all of my 3070s. I turned off half of my 3060s and half of my 3070s and all of my 3070 Ti's, because some of the 3060s and some of the 3070s are making 0.6 cents an hour. I think I even have some of them at 0.8 cents an hour, which is then, that card is then super profitable for me, and I'd love to keep it up and running, but it looks like it's just not really working out that well for me. So yeah, anything at 4 cents does look like I do kind of turn it off. I think I do still have one or two on that are at 4 cents. This one right here, I'm going to assume this is probably the one that's upstairs in the office. I'm going to talk to my wife about that and see what she wants to do. If she wants to keep the computer on 24 hours a day, then I think we'll still keep it on that, because that's her computer. She was using it earlier today, so you know, she's writing a letter. So if she wants to keep it on all the time, then I think I'll keep it running. If she wants to go back to putting it into sleep mode, then I think I may shut that one off. A little disappointing. I don't really want to turn off my 3060s, but it is what it is. This is probably one of my, you know, one of the 3070s, and these are probably both 3070s. So, this is probably either a 3060 or a 3070. So, yeah. Yeah. Alright. So let me regather and try and see where we're at. So in here, total. So yeah, been doing about $50 a day. It looks pretty good. I did just turn machines off. I don't know exactly how much I'm going to lose per day. I'm assuming it's still going to be plenty good. I should still be over $40 a day. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I have 21 computers. That doesn't really work right. That's almost 3. So I have 21 total computers running right now. Let me write this down. So with those 21 total running computers, I should still be making like over $40 a day right now, which is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I think that's pretty much where I was at before. So I don't know why I'm writing that as money. I don't know what I'm doing. All right. So 21 total machines running right now. Should be making over $40 an hour. So take a look at the last 24 hours. Pretty steadily been up here. $2.01 about $2.40, $2.04, $2.12. So it just dropped down to, it looks like it dropped down to about $1.90. Still going to be the $1.90 then. 1.9 times 2.4. No, I think it's going to be a little less than that. Probably be like 1.8 per day or something like that. It might still get up to 2. Because I want to say I don't remember. But I think right before my internet went out, I think on like 21 machines or 22 machines, I was still making about $40 a day. So it might be up there. We'll see how it goes though. But I think it'll go pretty good. Look at the last 7 days. We already did that. Last 30 days. So we can just barely see the tail end here of when my ISP, my internet service provider, started giving me problems. And then the slow build back up and slowly turning machines on and off and on and off and on and off. And then now everything's running amazing. And I'm going to love everything going on with Salad. If we look at the demand charts, just to kind of try to stay where we've been in, pretty much, I mean, almost everything is in high. As I said, for my price range, though, these prices are now, too, these are like really accurate to what you're actually getting. Whereas before there was a lot of variance to it. I think a lot of the reason it is so consistent is because Salad just picked up one giant customer who's basically just paying for everything that we do, whereas before we were doing a lot of smaller individual stuff. Now it's just, I think it is for the most part. I don't know who the customer is, but I think it's just for the vast majority of the work we're doing is just for the one customer, so they are buying everything in the specific blocks. So it's pretty much all just either the 0.8 cents, 0.10 cents, or 0.4 cents, and then there's a couple of random stuff scattered in the middle, but it's pretty much the 0.8, 0.4. And let's see, where are the 4090s in here? I'd say the 4090s are at. So 4090s are anywhere from the 0.14 to the 0.20. See, it's just kind of weird because I normally have like one of them, it'll switch up, but normally one of them will be doing the 0.14, and then two of them will be doing the 0.20. So yeah, you come down here, pretty much the only stuff down here is the 50 series. Salad did do so good over the weekend. I did decide to. I'm going to trade in one of my 3080s through Newegg, which right now I kind of wish I looked at a little bit differently. Maybe tried to trade in a 3070 instead, but whatever. Anyway, I decided to trade in one of my 3080s through Newegg. And I did order a 5060 Ti 16 gigabyte card. So I think after the trade-in, it cost me about $200 to upgrade from the 30 series to the 50 series card. So I'd say I feel pretty good about that. So we'll see how good it is when I get it in. I don't know if there is any work for the 50 series yet, so it may have been kind of like a bad idea, but we'll see. It's going to be whatever it's going to be, I guess. So I figured I could upgrade, and because I wasn't sure what was wrong with the machine that I reinstalled Windows on. I wasn't sure if the card started going, but I had to, when I reinstalled Windows, it looked like it was all working fine now. So I think I'm just going to trade the card in anyways. It's getting old. It was abused heavily during the Ethereum mining anyways, so let it go be somebody else's problem now, and then I'll get a nice brand new card that can be my problem now instead. So but yeah, we'll see. They don't have the 5060 Ti even listed on here yet. A little bit worrisome. All the 50 series cards being in low demand, also kind of worrisome. So we'll see. That one will be more for fun and speculative, I guess. So I mean, if it doesn't get any work at all, I'll just have to pay for it sitting there idly. So we'll see. kind of excited about that though, so I'll do more videos on that when it comes out and when I get it. Yeah. So let's go. Let's see. I already covered this. Let's come into here and let's show you guys a little bit of what I've been doing here. Let's see. This one, and let's see this one and this one. And let's hope this doesn't crash any of these out. So here we can see definitely one of the really weird things I'm doing. I did realize too with this LOL miner, it did look like the best power setting I had basically for everything was just to set it at like 100, anywhere from like 100 to like 90. I think I might have all of the smaller cards at 90, but I think I just shut most of them off anyways. I don't have my hardware info 64 installed on all of the machines. I only have it installed on some of them because I just didn't want to take the time to install it on everything. If I'm turning stuff on and off all the time, it's a lot more to be monitoring and paying attention to, but it is nice because it does track everything so far. So the 4090s right now for me definitely look really, really weird because I can't believe this can be right. This card has like a 450 watt TDP. It says right now it's at like, 2 to 10% card usage, and it looks like it's using, currently it's using 3622 watts. The maximum it's seen is 56.8 watts, which makes no sense to me at all because then this is my card that is using the least amount of wattage that I have. I don't know if this is just giving me some kind of weird error or if I'm not reading it correctly. It definitely looks kind of weird because it looks like it's just so much of under what everything else is. So we go to the next one, which just looks like a lot more of what I would be expecting. This is a RTX 3090. Same thing, power limit set at 100. This one looks like it's currently using about 130 watts. I can max out, since I installed it, it's maxed out at 143. This wattage here, this is just for the GPU. So that's the GPU, and then you can assume the motherboard and the CPU are using about 80 to 100 more watts. Just kind of very rough estimate. Salad, for the most part, isn't very CPU heavy, so you're not normally using a ton of CPU unless you have like the crypto mining turned on, which if you have crypto mining turned on, I'd say turn it off right now. Unless you're on free electricity, it's just a giant waste of your time and your resources. Like, I think you're paying double in electric what they're paying you for the actual mining. So yeah, for the most part though, when you're running the container jobs, you're not really using a whole lot of the CPU or the motherboard. So but this looks a little bit more standard, And we'll go to the next one here. This is, let's see if I can pull this over. This is one I may shut off, but I'm still thinking about it. So I think we have this at 90. It probably could be 100. I may just set everything at 100 in the future to make my life easier, so I'm not trying to remember two different settings. What am I looking for here? Salad. So this is the one that's upstairs. So this one is still on, but you can see, it's the wattage still, even on the 3060, not that much different from what I'm getting on the 3090. This looks like about as well too as I can tune everything, and they look like they're all tuning in at about that same spot. With on the LOL miner, like that 90 to 100 power limit, if you set the power limit lower, it just stops working. I'm not very familiar with the LOL miner GUI, I'll be honest with you. I saw Rabid Miner using it and I was like, oh man, that looks really, really cool. When my crypto mining, when I was doing stuff on Windows, I would have been using MSI Afterburner, which I think is really cool, but MSI Afterburner is incredibly unreliable. It will randomly crash on you all the time. If you do something in MSI Afterburner that your computer doesn't like, it'll crash your computer. And I mean, I don't think MSI Afterburner is good for just set it and forget it kind of stuff. MSI Afterburner is, you need to check it 2 to 3 times a day to make sure MSI Afterburner is still up and running, and it can just be a giant hassle. So I think this LOL miner GUI, it's not necessarily as good, but because it's more consistent, I'll say that makes it better. But yeah, kind of what I was really seeing across the board, 100 watts per card, maybe a little bit more. Again here, this is the one that's out in the kitchen right now. So this one, for some reason, I also have volts on here. This is the RTX 3080. This is actually the card I'm going to be trading in specifically. So when I get my 5070 Ti. So this one, it's doing about 90 to 130 or 125 watts right now. So it's, yeah, it's taking a little more than the 3060, but it's not necessarily taking like that much more than the 3060. Line everything up in here a little bit more. My OCD is going to go crazy. So it's, it's a power limited. It seems like it's going a little bit better. I think I got that kind of dialed in. I had been putting these numbers kind of all over the place, but I wasn't like double checking it with the My Hardware info while I was doing it. I was just trying to see like what it was doing exactly, and it just looks like with the LOL miner, if you set it too low, it just doesn't do anything then, or it doesn't work as effectively. So if I would set this at say like 50 watts or 30 watts right now, then I would be averaging like 150 watts or 130 watts. It just doesn't seem to dial in quite as right. Literally, the only thing I'm using on here is just the power limit. It does seem to run the cards better when they are slightly power limited too. I don't get anywhere near as many of the errors as I used to. I don't know if that's just that Salad cleaned all the errors up or it just happened to line up with it, but it seems like when I do try to run it without the power limit on, it seems like I just get errors left and right, and then when I have the power limit on, it seems like they run much better. Just kind of how I got to try to do it to keep everything up and running at 18 cents per kilowatt. But I think with the 21 machines running, I feel a little bit better about that, anyways, than having all 30 running. Just because I don't want to have a huge power bill that gets bigger than my paycheck. I'm like, oh wow, how am I going to pay that? I don't want to have to actually think about it. I want to just, keep it small enough where it's like, okay, bam, it's done. Don't have to think about it or worry about it. If everything was way more profitable, that would be awesome. So if like the 50 series cards do come around and they do start making more money, I may look at trading in all of my 30 series cards through Newegg. We'll see how things go. I'm about to come into slow season, so I know I'm taking my last big vacation here for probably a while this week or like this weekend. So I'm on vacation, I guess, this week. We're not really going anywhere until the weekend, but yeah. So we'll see how things go. But yeah, the power limiting, I think setting everything about 100 seemed to kind of be the best. I'm going to keep these up too, so when we do, we can take a look at them. If I do another video later in the week, I'll try to go through all the machines. I may try to install My Hardware info on all of them. I think My Hardware info, it's really useful for like a lot of different stuff. But right now, I'm only using it in the settings for just the wattage, for just the GPUs. I used to use it for just the temperature checking. So it's super useful for that, for temperature checking your CPUs and your GPUs. In the crypto mining days, that's what I was using it for more. I wasn't using it as much for the regulating for checking my electrical usage, because I was using other stuff to do my electrical, but for my usage. But it is kind of nice to kind of pay attention to and see kind of what's going on, especially with something with Salad where it's so like peaks and valleys, and are you in a job, not in a job, is this job really heavily resource requiring, is this job taking a lot of wattage, is this job taking no wattage at all? Like, it's crazy. My 4090s are making by far the most and look like they're using by far the least electricity right now. I don't know if that's just, I don't know if My Hardware info is just reporting it wrong on the 4090s. I'm thinking that has to be reporting it wrong on the 4090s. There's no way my 4090 is actually running at like 30 watts. I refuse to believe that. So I imagine it's got to be just reporting that wrong. But it's reporting it wrong across all three of them. So it's not just reporting it wrong on one of them. All three of them are telling me the exact same thing. So I don't know if it's an error with My Hardware info, Because I don't have those ones hooked up to an actual meter on the wall. I did hook them up to a meter on the wall a year and a half ago when Salad first started. I wasn't trying to do the power regulating at all, but when Salad first started and I first put them on, they were doing like, I want to say they were averaging something like 244 watts per card on the jobs they were, or watts per machine on the jobs they were running back then, but that was quite a while ago. So yeah, I want to say I think that's probably it, everything I've been working on. I'm going to try to do a better job monitoring the power, giving you guys more information on that. I think everything I did today kind of looked good. I got that dialed in a little bit more, definitely, with where to set that power limit. Kind of surprised to see that it looked like everything was better just off at like that 100. You know, I started messing with that like literally 35 days ago, and then my internet went down, and then I never really got back to really hardcore checking on it. And then when I set the machine up today, I'm like, why don't I hook it up to the power meter while I have it here in the house, and I can just monitor it, and I'll just leave it on the kitchen table for a day or two while I'm home, and really kind of try to dial it in. And then I was definitely kind of interested to see that it looked like it was better actually setting it higher than I had thought I was going to set it. I thought setting it lower on everything would be better to try to reduce everything, but it seemed like setting it lower wasn't even working. I was using more wattage setting it lower, so pretty easy and standard. Just set everything at like 100, call it a day. If you don't want to do that, it's fine. You don't have to. I'm only doing it because I need to figure out how to make this to stay profitable and make sense for me at 18 cents per kilowatt hour. There's plenty of people in the comments down below are like, Salad is useless, sell everything, you can't make any money on it. I think I'm doing a decent job making money on it, so I definitely don't want to sell everything off and not be mining Salad anymore. I think it's a cool project. I think it is pretty profitable if done correctly, but you do got to monitor, you do got to pay attention. Sometimes you got to come up with better strategies. Like, I love playing video games, and to me, right now, Salad mining is the coolest video game that I'm playing. I think the rewards and resources I am getting from Salad mining are way cooler than anything that I'm getting in Marvel Contest of Champions. So, real dollars are definitely cooler than, you know, fake video game units. So, yeah. I like Salad. I like the way it's going. Everything I heard out of Salad this weekend, I thought they put a lot of information out this weekend, and I thought it was really cool kind of to look at it and take it all in. You know, they had a ton of GPU utilization. It's picked up this huge customer. There's a lot of room to grow. If you got stuff off, you know, if it's profitable, turn it back on, make that money. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I won the 4090 or any of the runner-up prizes, but they did say they've reached out to people, and if the people they reached out to, if they don't respond within 48 hours, then they're going to redraw for those prizes. So not everyone has responded. So even if you didn't win yet from this last weekend, there's still a chance that you could win if the people who did win don't respond. So depending on how much you've just set it and leave it they are, if they give like the wrong email address or something for their thing and Salad can't reach them via their email, you know, there's still a chance that if somebody's out there being lazy and not checking their email, I could still win the 4090. So I'll hope, and we'll see what happens. If I don't win it, honestly, I truly hope one of you guys wins it, because that would be pretty cool. Yeah, I like Salad. I like the way it's going. I mean, it's nothing makes me happier than that. So I mean, I think I'm gonna turn off 7 machines, and I think I'm still going to be well over $40 an hour. So yeah, I'll probably put another one of these out in like 2 days. I'll try to go through every machine. Then when I do it, how much every machine is making and all that. Right now, it's, you know, it's not too hard to figure out. This 0.2 cents, that's a 4090. 0.1 cents, I don't know. Ooh, I literally don't know which one that is right now. Because it's 0.8 cents. That's all like then like your second tier. That's, you know, the vast majority of the 40 series cards are the 3090s. 0.6 cents right now. That's a overachieving 3060 or a 3070. And that's literally it. Everything fits into those categories. So it does look like, ooh, I may just run into some problems. So it does look like my 4090s do not like how much I just pulled them all up and down with the Chrome Remote Desktop, because it looks like 2 of my 4090s just ended their jobs. So hopefully they'll pick new jobs up here real soon. Yeah, I may try the Mozilla Firefox for the next video and see if that looks like it's a better browser option. So come back to the next one and I'll tell you what I think about that one. And if you got any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them down below. Let's see, let's take a real quick look at the last video I did. Any comments on the last video I did? The very last video I did is on the Chrome web browser. Nope. On this thing. And I wrote myself, big shout out to Chris from the Discord, because he's the one who sent me the message on Discord to recommend that I use it. And then his response was, thank you, heart, heart. So those were the only comments from the last video. So yeah, if you like the videos in general, like, comment, subscribe, come on back. And I will get a bigger, fuller review of what each machine is making. We'll try to go into each machine, and if Chrome Remote Desktop crashes everything, it crashes everything out, and I'll just deal with it. But we'll do that in the next one. So see you guys next time. Peace.